And there we go.
Spinning around one final blocker.
Oh, what a move to get around.
Going from 0 to gone.
Oh, man, that was gorgeous.
Oh, and a juke back to the end. That was beautiful.
And that's our game.
Evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight for the Roses versus the Buds. You are in for a treat tonight. This is the best versus the best. Before we get started, please stay on your side of those black bumpers. This is for your safety and the safety of the skaters. Also, please remember this is a juniors bout. Please cheer positively and responsibly. Also, leave the coaching to the coaches. These are excellent coaches, world class, in fact. So you all cheer, let them coach. Also, while the action is going, please be courteous to your fellow fans. Don't walk in front of everybody. Wait for those 30 seconds in between jams to do what that person's doing. All right. Now, please give it up for all of our volunteers to make all this possible. And for all of our officials on skates and off. And now, let's get this going. Introducing, in the purple, the Roses. Wearing 011, Honey Bashes and Oats. (101) Tigress in the Grass. 105, Full Smack of Pancakes. Number 12, Mary Zemo Cherry. 141, EpiPen. Number 17, Mazzy Scar Tissue. (1969) Klondike Bar. 211 Toaster Strudel. 220 Ovaltine Kills. 357 is Billy Idle Hands. 408 Hot Zodiggity Water. Wearing number 44, Sour Patch Snitch. Number 45, Zombie Basher. Number 46, Donna Spirit Halloween. Wearing number 49, your captain, Bert. Number 52, Mad Dog McGruff. Wearing 606, Reggie. Number 64, Adri Hell on Training Wheels. Triple Eight is Calm. And last but never least, number 9, Pandemonium. The Roses are coached by Bling and Gangster. Give it up for the Roses. And now, introducing in the white, it's the Buds. Wearing number 087, Lawbreaker. 199, Slaughtermelon. Number 21 and 222, Dumb and Dumber. Number 26, Bleeding Tart. Your captain, 327, Bone Broth. 360, Yellow Jacket. Number 37 is Mia Hamburger. Number 47, Garlic Breath. Number 515, Christmas Eva Destruction. Number 56, Linguini. Number 619, Cat Lamini. Number 7, Vionic. Number 73, Bowcat. '808 is Snap, Crackle, and Pop. 819 is Roadkill Pickle. Number 88 is Warthog. Number 900 is Plop Plop Fizz Fizz. And the last name on the roster is 197 Gizmo. Coaching the Whites, we've got Blitz and Big Pimpin'. Give it up for the Buds.
All right, good evening, Derby fans. I am Rosemary's Baby, and I am your only announcer on the stream tonight. Here are your rosters. Everyone has a little emoji. Everyone has a funny name. Some of them got missed in the reading. Zombie Basher was Zombie Hugger. Pandemonium was Harmonium. There's some other ones, but you know, the little emojis are like a nod to on the you know, the officials. They have little emojis that signify like their derby name. So it's a little bit of a nod to that. On our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, currently we have that is Hot Zodoggity Water up against Visine, or Zo and Vi. And that is Vi through with Lead Jammer. Zo getting recycled by Scooby or Bone Broth. Vi entering on a scoring pass as Zo Diggity is out on an initial. And there's the call. 2 points going to the Buds, 0 for the Roses. If you are at home watching on the stream, go ahead and give a shout out to which your favorite pun name is. I want to hear it. And while you're, typing in your chat box, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you get notified every single time a game is posted on this channel. All right, on the Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, there is Retro Raggy up against Linguini, or Ro and Lou. Ro finding a tripod at the top of the pack as Lou slides around the outside through for an initial pass, or for lead jammer. Ro fighting up against Kat, who gets a forearm penalty for the troubles. Ro fighting against the back of Zombie Basher, Yellow Jacket, and Snapdragon. Lou on the back of the pack up against the tripod of Roses. Tripod of Roses really covering both sides of the track. Head out to the inside. Call off. 4 points going to the Buds. 0 points for the Roses. Into this next jam, we have Mia jamming up against Adri on the Jam on Hawthorne Jam line. Buds have one player in the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box, giving the Roses a pack advantage. Both jammers taking off now. Adri moving to the inside. Mia following behind. Adri juking from inside to outside. Pack is forming in the back, and that is Adri through with lead jammer for the Roses. Mia fighting up against Madness and Billy Idle Hands, joined by Ovaltine Kills and Sour Patch Snitch. The Buds while making a strong tripod in the back of the pack, forcing the Buds to bridge out. Adri through with 4 points. Mia looking for a cat pass. It is passed to Jawbreaker, or Lawbreaker, who is out on an initial. Adri gets bumped to the outside, calls it off, adds 4 points to that jam total. 8 points on the jam, bringing our game total 8 points for the Roses up against 6 for the Buds. Can I get my headphones up? How do I turn the volume up? All right. And on the Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, there is Pandemonium up against Bleeding Tart. Pandemonium getting some offensive help from Sherbert, bumps to the inside as Bleeding Tart goes up against the tripod of Roses in the back. Head out to the outside. Both jammers recycling to the back of the pack. Pandemonium fighting up against, that's LL Cool Slay, or on your screen, Ernie. Tripod of Buds in the back with Bert trying to play offense. Bleeding Tart fighting up against the tripod of Roses at the front of the pack. In that Roses at the front of the pack, you have Marijimo Cherry, Tigress in the Grass, and Zombie Basher. Gizmo trying to offer some offense. Drops back to play a little bit of defense. Penalty whistle, but that is Tiger in the Grass going to the penalty box with a forearm penalty. There's the no pack call.
Bleeding Tart up to the front of the pack. One to beat. Pack extended.
That is Bert with a pack destruction penalty.
And we've got a lead jammer.
Lead jammer is going to Bleeding Tart.
70 seconds.
Hit out to the outside by Kill Pickle. Ooh, nice. Duck to the outside by Bleeding Tart. There's the call off, trapping 2 players in the penalty box. 4 points total on that jam for the Buds. And a lead change. So, Buds going into this jam with a 4-2 pack advantage. And on our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, we have Donna Spirit Halloween going up against Vi, or Visine gets the red out, or Vionic, or any number of names listed on the sheet. All right. Vi takes that outside and gets the lead jammer. Donna fighting up against that tripod of Bud skaters. Direction of gameplay penalty going to full smack of pancakes. Vi getting trapped up on 211. Toaster strudel. Hops to the inside. There is a literal tangle of gear happening in the back of the pack. Vi hits into the back of Sherbert. Gets trapped up on that Rose's tripod. Pack stretching out into turn 1. No pack is called. Cap is off in the back of the pack. Looking for a pass to Sherbert. Star is passed. Nope, Star is stashed. Star is stashed very sneakily by Donna. Vi entering on another scoring pass. Fighting up against Tigress in the grass on the inside line. Opts to call it off. 2 additional points on that jam. 10 total on the jam for the Buds. 0 for the Roses. And looking at this chat, a bunch of shout outs for Anamana Mia. Or, as you'll see on your screen, Mia Hamburger. With the pun name. All right, on our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, you have EpiPen going up against Slaughtermelon. EpiPen takes the inside. Slaughtermelon also opts to take the inside. Gets through with caught up by Ovaltine kills. At the back of the pack, EpiPen is getting caught up on Lawbreaker and Catlamity. Slaughtermelon was the first jammer out of the pack, but had a no pass, no penalty, so did not earn lead jammer. Forum going to Yellow Jacket, and that is a lead jammer going to EpiPen. Slaughtermelon re-engaging on the back of Ovaltine Kills, bumps out EpiPen. Is able to take advantage of that moment of chaos, moving up against Honey Bashes and Oats. Pushing heavy on Mazzy Scar Tissue, driving forward. Pack now in the far straightaway. Slaughtermelon really driving and grinding against that tripod, trying to make something happen. That pack is very, very slow moving as EpiPen is doing the same thing in the back of the pack. Yellow Jacket opts to bump up to play some offense, trying to get the pack moving. Pack is rolling into turn 3. Yellow Jacket hitting up against Ovaltine Kills, trying to move any of the Roses blockers. Slaughtermelon stays in with tiptoes on that outside line and is through with 4 points. Taking advantage of the movement, EpiPen is able to get some more forward track movement and picks up 2 points on that jam. So that's going to be 4 total for the Buds, 2 going to the Roses. And now for our audience at home, all of the skaters have fun pun names. Some of them are their real derby names, but a lot of them are like either inside jokes or the opposite of their actual derby names. So some of them can be kind of unique and funny. All right, we have Hot Zoe Doggity Water jamming up against Mia. Is that Mia Hamburger? Yes. And that is Zoe through with lead jammer. Mia Hamburger fighting up against Snap Dragon on the inside. Wow, Zoe sliding through that Bud's defense. Oh, I said Snapdragon. That's actually Cherry. That's Cherry on the inside line. Really taking every opportunity to drive Mia out of bounds. Wow. That was a huge jump. A huge jump. Wow. Wow. That is going to be an up-sub creative apex jump. And another move up the inside line by Zoe as Bone Broth takes the star pass. Puts the star on her head. Pack rolling into the far straightaway as Zoe comes in again, calls it off, adds 2 more points to that total. That's going to be 18 points total on the jam. That is the biggest jam of the game. That also makes us a lead change. Rose is at 28 now, Buds at 24. And let's see that Radical Wheels replay. Let's see. That's going to be that big apex jump. That was several feet. So Upstep Creative is ethical and inclusive websites and online marketing for radical leaders. All right. Sprinting off of that Jam on Hawthorne Jam line is Christmas Eva Destruction, jamming up against Calm. Calm is recycled to the back of the pack. Christmas Eva Destruction hitting up against the Rose's blockers on the inside line, and that is going to be a cut track penalty going to cut track penalty on Bowcat, a direction of gameplay penalty going to Fizz. 2 blockers for the Buds in the back of the pack, taking control of that pack as Christmas Eva Destruction pushes those blockers out of play, and is through for 4 points. The duo in the back of Snap, Crackle, and Pop and number 21, Cap and Crunch. But that's going to be a direction gameplay penalty going to Cap and Crunch. Offense now trying to free Christmas Eva Destruction. Calm back in the pack. Hitting into the back of the Buds wall. Pack slowing between turns 1 and 2. Really slow tripods now as the pack slowly moves into turn 2. Both jammers trying to find any sort of space. Both walls opting to not play offense. Christmas Eva Destruction sees the call from the bench, opts to call it off. That's going to be 3 additional points for the Buds, 4 points for the Roses, bringing our game total 32 Roses, 31 Buds. I want to shout out some of our sponsors, Lionheart Kombucha and Secret Aardvark. Five seconds is called. On our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, we have Adri and Vi. Vi coming up against Cherry and Billy, but gets through with lead jammer as Adri is fighting up against the back of Lawbreaker and Cat Lamity. Finds some space on the outside for a tiptoe. As Vi slides through that same outside space, hits into Cherry at the top. Forearm penalty going to Cherry. Billy and Honey Basher working at the top of the pack, getting some chips in, but that is Adri through on an initial as Vi is through with 4 points. And there's the call off. That's going to be 4 points for the Buds, 0 for the Roses. 1 player from the Roses in the penalty box, giving Buds a 4-3 pack advantage going into this next jam. 888, the exclusive protective gear sponsor of RCR. More Derby-specific gear than any other brand. 888 has you covered.
Next up, we're going to see Garlic Breath Nickel White on the Jam on Hawthorne Jam line.
All right, on that Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, there is Garlic Breath jamming up against Ruh-Roh Raggy. Row fighting up against that Buds wall at the top of the pack. That is Ernie bridging. Gizmo also dropping to bridge. Those Buds with the hit out and the drawback as Toaster Strudel is also attempting a drawback. Both walls moving in reverse now. Garlic Breath back on, but that is Ruh-Roh Raggy with lead jammer. Another hit out to the inside. That is Row re-engaging with the Buds tripod. Out of play in the front. And that's going to be a penalty at the top of the pack. Going to Bone Broth. An out of play penalty. Row initiating again. Big spill in turn 4. Penalty at the top of the pack as Garlic Breath tries to make some move in the back of the pack. Multiplayer penalty going to Roadkill Pickle, leaving Buds with 2 players on the track currently. A penalty going to Mazzy Scar Tissue. Some sort of pack penalty.
We've got a bit of a dive pack going on here.
Gizmo also with a pack penalty, and there is a star pass going to Ernie, and the jam is called. And there is a correction of those penalties, so making sure all the right people are in the box. But that is 16 points on that jam for the Roses, 0 for the Buds, bringing our game total 48 Roses, 35 Buds. 2 players from the Buds in the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box, 1 for the Roses, giving us kind of a small diet pack on the track currently. On our jam line, we have Donna Spirit Halloween up against Mia Hamburger. Both jammers engaging in the wall. No pack called on that straightaway. Mia is, in fact, lead jammer. Kill Pickle is back from the penalty box. There's another no pack. Mia getting knocked onto the inside by Maddie, but is through. Had picked up lead on an earlier escape. Donna having pulled the cap. Apex denial by Scar, Mazzy Scar. The Roses tripod converging on the jammer at the back of the pack. Honey Bashes and Oats bridging. Pack stretching out between turns 1 and 2. Donna getting stuck up on the back of Fizz and Gizmo. Anchored by Cap and Crunch. Both jammers really just working at this wall. Neither wall opting to send any offense. Just as I say that, Honey Bashes decides to offer some level of offensive help. And as the walls converge on each other, Kill Pickle drops back to offer some offense. Both jammers working very hard against these walls. Some movement into turn 2. Hard hit to the ground. The pack entangling on that far straightaway. Both jammers working very hard. And there's the end of that jam. That is going to be 4 points going to the Buds. 0 points going to the Roses on that very long, very grindy, very slow jam. In the chat, we have a shout out to Cherry Bomb. And let's go number 37, which is Mia. On our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, we have Linguini up against Pandemonium. Both jammers taking off. Linguini finding some space in the middle and through with lead jammer. Panda trying to find something on the outside. Bumps into the back of Decoy. Bumps into Yellow Jacket. Trying to find space, but every line is actively blocked. Big hit at the back of the pack from Linguini.
Yellow Jacket with the offense at the back of the pack.
Linguini pushing the Roses wall back up towards the Buds wall. The pack sort of converging on the far straightaway. Pandemonium pushing against the backs of Cat Lamity. But that is Linguini through for 4 points. Pandemonium has taken the cap off, but that does not seem to faze the Roses, who are opting for 4 defense at the top of the pack. Linguini is also facing 4 defense at the back of the pack. That defense in the back of the pack for the Roses is anchored by Billy Idlehands. Also features Sour Patch Snitch and Full Smack of Pancakes. And just as Ovaltine Kills leaves to play offense, Linguini manages to push through for 4 points. Big offensive hits coming from Billy Idlehands, who then traps up Linguini on that inside line, directing Linguini back into the Roses tripod. Big hit from Warthog, knocking Sauer to the outside. 5 seconds left in this jam. White tries to play a little bit of offense for the Buds. It's not successful. 4 additional points for Linguini on that jam. 12 total for the Buds, 0 for the Roses. Lead change, 51 Buds, 48 Roses. And that's the second long jam on the books. Lots of long, grindy jams where the jammers are having to work very hard for every single point. So that's really a testament to the defense of these teams and how defensively minded they are, really focusing on keeping things slow. And currently on the track, we have a team timeout. This timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. This is actually an official review used as a timeout, so that's why when Bling, or according to my sheet, Coach Instagram Dad, when he walked up to the center, he did the O and then immediately followed by a T. Basically, that's a signal from the coach to the officials that you're going to use your official review as a timeout. So you're not going to come out there and argue and try to get a penalty. You just want the clock stoppage. That is something you can do. You can use your official review as a timeout. Fun fact, in case you didn't know. All right, so as that winds down, we have our jammers a record on the Jam on Hawthorne jam line. We have Vi, or Vionic, or Visine, up against Hot Doggity Water. Hot So Doggity Water through with lead jammer, and Vi fighting up against the back of that Roses tripod, which is anchored by Zombie Basher, but also features Maraschino Cherry and Toaster Strudel. There is a low block penalty going to Vi, putting the Roses in a power full jam. Also a forearm penalty going to Bone Broth. So this really puts the Roses where they want to be with a power full jam as Zoe Diggity gets through on another 4 points. Pack is now in turn 2. Starts sprinting forward, but Zoe finds easy path on the inside line and is through on an additional 4 points. Rose is signaling to Zoe, clears the outside. Zoe is through with another 4 points as both Vi and Bone Broth re-enter from the penalty box. 4 defense now, trying to stop Zoe. Pack is stretching out on the far straightaway. 4 defense at the back of the pack, blocking Vi, letting Zoe go on her own at the top of the pack. Out of play is called at the front, and Zoe is through with an additional 4 points. The cap has now been pulled as Vi fights against Tigress in the grass and Marizimo Cherry, but there is a star pass going to Bone Broth, and there is the call-off from Hot So Doggity Water, and that is an additional 2 points, making that a 22-point jam, the biggest jam of tonight, and a lead change, 70 points Roses, 51 for the Buds. And in the chat, we have I Can't with these names. Let me tell you, I have coached every single skater who's on the track. Literally, I think I have coached every single one of them at some point in my life, and it pains me just a little bit to have to say not their real names. I mean, just be happy I'm not accidentally calling them their legal name, which I do on occasion, but it is a little weird. Their names are courtesy of Coach Instagram Dad, aka Coach Bling, who is the pun master, and there's the worm coming from EpiPen. EpiPen's real name is Avery Phylactic Shock. I just need to that's why it's EpiPen. You gotta, Bling did the opposite name for a lot of people, so, or he just kind of riffed, before and after kind of vibes. In that timeout, Cherry went to the penalty box on a back walk, and Bleeding Tart through with lead jammer. EpiPen, jammer for Roses, gets bumped to the outside by Fizz. Wow, big hit from Bleeding Tart up against the Roses at the top of the pack. There's that no pack call. There is going to be some penalties happening. I hear some whistles. That is going to be a pack penalty going to Fizz. And another pack penalty going to Ovaltine Kills. Bleeding Tart hitting into the back of the pack. Opts to call it off. 2 additional points for Bleeding Tart on the jam. 6 total for Buds. 0 for the Roses. One blocker from each player, or from each team in the penalty box. Moving into this next jam, which means we'll have a little bit of a mini pack, 3-on-3. I will say, Fizz's pun name is Plop Plop Fizz Fizz, which Fizz specifically asked not to be called. So I'm gonna respect that. All right, Adri, Hell on Training Wheels, jamming up against Mia Hamburger. Adri going to the outside. There's that no pack call. That pack really not there. And lead to Adri. Mia Hamburger sliding up that inside line. Adri bumping into the back of that Bud's tripod, getting some offensive help from the Roses crew. Opts to continue the jam going. Wow. Mia Hamburger opts to try for the apex jump and just gets bonked out of the air. Mia fighting up against the back of Sour Patch Snitch. Full smack of Pancakes, Ovaltine Kills, and Mazzy Scar Tissue. Sour Patch Snitch moving forward to play a little bit of offense on the Buds wall, trying to hit up against Fizz and make something happen. Fizz bumps to the inside, draws Adri Hell on Training Wheels back, is joined by Cat Lamity. And just as that pack starts spreading out and fighting towards the front, there's the call off. 4 points total for Buds on that jam. 3 points for the Roses. So shout out to Yellow Jacket and some more Mia shout outs in the chat. I think Mia Hamburger is the funniest thing. A lot of the skaters also mentioned to me before that they didn't understand some of the references for their names, which was very funny. All right, on our jam on the Hawthorne jam line, we have Slaughtermelon up against Calm. Slaughtermelon through with lead jammer as Calm is fighting up against, I'm looking for their names because I'm trying to say the right ones. Bowcat, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, Lawbreaker, and Ernie. Big hits on that outside coming from Slaughtermelon. Slaughtermelon bumped to the outside by Billy Idlehands. Fighting now up against Mad Dog McGruff, Bert, Zombie Basher. Pack is now sort of at that grind on the far straightaway. Bowcat up at the top trying to play some offense as Calm is fighting up against a tripod of Buds at the back of the pack. And there's the hit out and the drawback, allowing Zombie Basher to give some offense as that pack stretches out on the far straightaway. Mad Dog McGruff really anchoring that tripod in the back. Calm really having to push and push and push and push and push at the top of the pack and is escorted to the outside by Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Is getting the instructions from Bling to go back on the track because out of play, okay. And there's going to be the call off. That's going to be 4 points total for the Buds, 0 for the Roses. So I have a mnemonic for everyone. If you get hit out of bounds, out of play, okay. So if the person who hits you out of bounds is out of play, you're okay to keep going. You don't have to recycle. No pack, go back. If you get hit out of bounds and then a no pack is called, you still have to go behind everybody. So, all right. On this next jam, Donna Spirit Halloween up against Visine. Donna through with lead jammer. Vi finding a space on the outside after a hit on Tigress in the grass and is through on an initial. Pack is speeding up into turn 3, really taking whoa, big spill in the far straightaway. Both jammers now entered on a scoring pass. Both jammers in the pack.
Top of the second apex.
Roses with one player who is in the penalty box who's returning now. By finding some space on the outside and through with 4 points. Penalty in the pack to someone. Donna calling it off. That is going to be a something going to Bone Broth.
Late direction of play. Penalty.
Direction of play going to Bone Broth right before that jam is called. So 4-3 pack advantage for the Roses. And on our Jam on Hawthorne jam line, we have Ro Raggy. I can't do an impersonation of Scooby-Doo, but I'm trying. And Christmas Eva Destruction.
Next up, Christmas Eve Destruction and
Ro Raggy gets bumped out to the inside line. Track cut penalty going to, I don't know which blocker that is. And Ro Raggy through with lead jammer, but that is a high block going to Christmas Eva Destruction. So there is a powerful jam now. Oh, that is a penalty going to Full Smack of Pancakes. Hit to the inside, one hand down means okay, and out of play called in the front, and that's Ro Raggy through with 4 points. And so pack slows and looks at the refs in turn 3. There is going to be a direction and gameplay penalty going to Cat Lamity. Ro Raggy hit to the inside, one hand down. Christmas Eva Destruction now back. Ro Raggy fighting up against the back of Warthog. Opts to call it off. 4 points for the Roses, making 7 on that jam. 0 for the Buds. 84 total for the Roses, 69 for the Buds. And that is going to be your first half. Hope to see you back for the second half for more puns and jams and excitement. All right, welcome back to the second half of Roses versus Buds. I just want to shout out with this time. Oh, let's look at the penalties first. So, Buds really kind of overwhelmingly 15 penalties to the Roses, 9. Only one person who's in any sort of like penalty trouble for any reason, which is Bone Broth, number 327 on the Buds. Beautiful penalty board. And with this time, I want to shout out, there is going to be a dine-in fundraiser this upcoming Thursday, February 12th, at Robo Taco, which is 607 Southeast Morrison. This dine-in fundraiser actively supports the Rosebuds travel team, so a portion of the proceeds will go to the Rosebuds travel team. They need the money. They need to go travel places, so buy a taco, support the team, support Rosebuds travel team. There's the 5 seconds call. And on our Jam on Hawthorne Gym line, we have Hot Zo Doggity Water up against Visine. Zo getting bumped to the outside, bumping into the back of, looks like it's Ernie and Cap and Crunch. Vi moving to the outside, fighting up against Ovaltine Kills and Mad Dog, or Maddie. Vi fighting against the back of Maddie and Ovaltine Kills. So that's a lead jammer going to Hot Zo Doggity Water. There are some penalties happening in the pack, but I'm not seeing anyone leave. There's a star pass to Bone Broth. And there's the penalty going to Honey Bashes and Oats. It's a pack penalty. And a call-off coming from Hot Zo Doggity Water. That's going to be 4 total points on the jam. 0 points for the Buds after that star pass. WSL Leadership. Learn how to transform interpersonal conflict into organizational justice at WSLleadership.com. On our Jam on Hawthorne Gym line is Garlic Breath and Pandemonium. Pandemonium bumping into Warthog. Garlic Breath being drawn back by Cherry. Pandemonium through with lead jammer. Garlic Breath fighting through their own players. And a cut track penalty going to Garlic Breath, giving Roses a power full jam. Hit to the outside by, that is Roadkill Pickle. Pandemonium fighting up against Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Getting a hit to the outside by Roadkill Pickle. Getting some offensive help from Marazimo Cherry. The Roses trying to put together a more unified offense. Opting to send Tigress in the grass and Marazimo Cherry. Yellow Jacket and Snap, Crackle, and Pop with a tag team for that hit out on the outside. Kill Pickle anchoring the inside of that Bud's wall. Garlic Breath fighting up against the back, getting a hit out from Tigress in the grass. There's the call off at the front of the pack. 4 points total for the Roses, 0 for the Buds on that jam, bringing our game total 92 Roses, 69 Buds. I want to shout out some more of our sponsors. The Portland Mercury. Thank you for sponsoring us. On our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, we have Mia Hamburger and Adri Hell on Training Wheels. Adri Hell on Training Wheels managing to slide by everyone, picking up lead jammer, then getting one last exit hit from Lawbreaker. The Buds drop back, spring some offense. Mia Hamburger hitting into Zombie Basher and taking a spill before getting caught up by the Roses defense. Adri Hell on Wheels getting some heavy defense from Fizz. And that is Lawbreaker with a hit out to the outside. The Buds trying to form something at the top of the pack, but stretching out. Pack is now stretching out between turns 1 and 2. Wow, finding a quick quick lane on that inside line, bouncing from outside to inside, through on an initial, as Adriel on training wheels gets an exit hit by Fizz. Calls it off. 4 points total for the Roses, 0 for the Buds on that jam. And that is going to be 96 Roses, 69 for Buds. And in the chat, some shout out for Frantic and Mia. Frantic on your screen is Calm. Franny's name is Frantic in all caps, so it's Calm in all lowercase. You know, that's the joke. All right, on our Jam on Hawthorne Jam line, we have EpiPen up against Linguini. EpiPen hitting into the back of Bone Broth, hitting into Catlamity, getting a little bit of a shirt whip from Burt, but a hit out from Bone Broth. Linguini getting recycled to the outside by Burt. Linguini hitting up against Ovaltine Kills. Billy Idle Hands, anchored by Toaster Strudel. EpiPen fighting on the inside lane against Catlamity, getting a hit out by Captain Crunch. Drawn to the back against that Buds tripod at the back of the pack. Linguini getting some offensive help from Bone Broth. Fighting up against that tripod of Roses at the front. That tripod getting low. Both tripods slowing to a stop, stretching out against on turn 2 and into the far straightaway. Interesting strategy from both teams. Both teams are opting to go for these long, sluggish, slow jams without a lot of offense. And there's a direction of gameplay going to Burt. Rather than offering more offense, they're willing to let their jammers duke it out. So there's the lead call going to Linguini. Rose is trying to get EpiPen through. And there's going to be a cut track penalty going to EpiPen, giving Linguini and the Buds a power full jam. Linguini opts to call it off, setting up the next jammer for success. 3 points total on that jam, 96 for the Roses, 72 for the Buds. 1 blocker, and the Roses jammer in the penalty box, giving this a power start in this next jam.
And a late penalty means that Visine gets the red out.
Become a member to Rose City Rollers YouTube channel. Gain access to exclusive perks, member-only videos, and more. Join as a member today on our YouTube channel. All right, Visine is out as the only jammer on the track. The Roses trying to make some defense. A little hop to gain lead jammer. Tigress in the grass. Honey Bashes and Oats and Mad Dog McGruff really try to make some defense, and that's going to be a penalty going to Mad Dog McGruff. I believe a pack penalty. Vi slices through that pack and is through for 4 points. EpiPen released from the penalty box. Buds trying to make some defense. Vi getting some offensive help from Warthog at the back of the pack. Warthog and Vi working together to try to push that Rose's wall up closer to where the Buds wall is. Pack is stretching out from far straightaway into turn 3. Vi finding a little space on the inside, but gets bumped out. There's the no pack call. And in that no pack call, EpiPen gets swallowed back up by a Yellow Jacket and company at the top of the pack. Jam is called. 8 points total in the jam for the Buds, 0 for the Roses. A very, very hard jam. Each of these jams are so hard. The players are coming off the track, heavy breathing, lots of long defensive jams. So make sure to shout out these players, especially on the chat. Let me know who you're rooting for. On the Jam on Hawthorne Jam line right now, and the Jammers of Record, Calm for the Roses and Bleeding Tart for the Buds. Bleeding Heart fighting up against Marizimo Cherry at the top of the pack with some help from Full Smack of Pancakes. They managed to hit out Bleeding Tart. That is a penalty going to Bocat as Calm is pushing up against Gizmo and Fizz. Zombie Basher trying to offer some offensive help, pushing up against Lawbreaker, opting to bridge instead, as Calm tries to find some space on the inside, is bumped out by Lawbreaker, drawn back again. Bleeding Heart at the top of the pack, really fighting against that pack. The pack really slowing to a stop now, stretching between the apex and turn 3. Hit out to the outside for Bleeding Heart and a drawback. Then a hit out to the inside by Fizz and another drawback. This is going to be a minute has elapsed and no lead yet. Both walls opting for 4 defense. Bocat moves up to play some offense as Zombie Basher drops back to play some offense. Bocat trying to really pop that lid off for Bleeding Tart. And that is going to be lead jammer before Bleeding Tart gets bumped out. But in the process, Calm gets out of the pack, is racing around, trying to make things happen. Bleeding Tart, no points, but manages to call it before Franny, who was on a scoring pass, received any points. 0-0 jam. Almost a whole 2 minutes. Very impressive from all skaters. Jam on Hawthorne, Portland's best vegan-friendly, booze-friendly, kid-friendly, everybody-friendly breakfast. And on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line, we have Mia Hamburger and Donna Spirit Halloween. And with some offensive help from Billy Idlehands, Donna Spirit Halloween is lead. Mia Hamburger finds some space on the inside line with a little bit of a spin and is out on an initial. Pack is sprinting, making almost a whole revolution, spreading out very far. Pack is almost catching up to Mia. That is Donna Spirit Halloween out with points. The Jammers now duking it against each other on that far straightaway. Donna Spirit Halloween opts to try to jump that inside, picks up 2 more points. 6 points total for Roses on that jam, but not before Mia Hamburger manages to squeak by 1. 102 points for the Roses, 81 for the Buds. We have some love for Frantic, a.k.a. Calm, in the chat. Love to see it. Love to see the excitement. There's a 5 seconds call, and we have Slaughtermelon jamming up against Rutro Raggy. And that's Rowe moving up the inside line, falling over. Slaughtermelon fighting up against the back of that Rose's wall. The Buds stretching out on that into turn 1, but getting a hit out on Rutro Raggy on the outside. Slaughtermelon takes the time with that re-entry, manages to move to the top of the pack, and gets a no pass, no penalty. So Melon is the first jammer out, but not the lead jammer. And there's the lead jammer going to Rutro Raggy, and there's the call off. Calling it off before Melon could get any points. And there is someone in the chat cheering for Will, who is the penalty box manager. Just want to give a shout out to all of our officials, both on skates and off. They make the sport work, and we do love them. All right, Hot Zo Doggity Water jamming up against Visine. There is that no pack. So fighting up against Lawbreaker at the top of the pack. Big hit to the inside. Penalty happening all over. A cut track penalty going to Hot Zo Doggity Water, and a forearm going to Lawbreaker, giving Visine a power jam. Visine fighting up against Mary Zemo Cherry and Tigress in the Grass, joined by Toaster Strudel and Sour Patch Snitch. Hit out to the inside and a drawback. Rose is taking advantage of the opposite direction movement from the Buds. Pack is now stretching out along the near straightaway. Another hit out to the inside from Toaster Strudel. Hot So Doggity Water and Lawbreaker back from the penalty box. Zoe makes quick work of the pack and is through on an initial. Direction of gameplay going to Fizz. Lead Jammer going to Vi. Jam is called, but not before Hot So Doggity Water picks up 4 points, 106 for the Buds currently, 106 for the Roses currently, 81 for the Buds. Buds are going to start with one player in the penalty box, giving Roses a 4-3 pack advantage, moving into this next jam. And on our jam line, we have Pandemonium and Christmas Eva Destruction. Christmas Eva Destruction, big hit on the outside, moves towards the inside, finds some space, and gets finished by Billy Idlehands, and a second finishing hit by Bert. And that is going to be a cut track penalty going to Panda. Billy Idlehands making the difference at the back of the pack. Honey, Bashes and Oats, and Ovaltine Kills, anchored by Bert. Trying to make some defense. Billy Idlehands and Honey Bashes. No match for Christmas Eva Destruction, who is through with Lead Jammer. Pack is rolling into turn one. Bud's trying to make some offensive help for Christmas Eva Destruction, who is leaving bodies on the floor in her wake. There's the out-of-play call, and that is Christmas Eva Destruction through with another 4 points. The Buds trying to make some defense in to turn two, as Christmas Eva Destruction gets a big hit at the back of the pack. Pack stretching through turn two and into the far straightaway. Pack stretching out as Pandemonium is fighting up against Fizz at the top of the pack. Blockers are stretching to the limits. Big hit to the outside of the pack, forcing out Pandemonium, drawing everyone back. Bone Broth and Ernie trying to make a tripod with Captain Crunch. Fizz trying to give some offensive help to Christmas Eva Destruction at the top of the pack. A pause here as both walls establish, and Fizz gestures to the back tripod, asks them to move forward, starts playing offense. Penalty going to Ovaltine Kills. 8 total points on the jam for the Buds, 0 points for the Roses. A late penalty call to Ovaltine Kills. I don't know what the penalty is, so Buds are going to start in a 4-3 pack advantage. And our jammers of record are Mia Hamburger and Adri Hell on Training Wheels. There's the 5 seconds. And Mia Hamburger gets out quick with Lead Jammer. Adri Hell on Training Wheels meeting against the back of Cat Lamity and bouncing up against Roadkill Pickle. Mia Hamburger getting bumped to the outside by Sour Patch Snitch, and is now digging into that tripod, which also features Zombie Basher and Full Smack of Pancakes. Yellow Jacket trying to offer some offense for Mia Hamburger. Penalty happening in the pack. That is, I believe, an illegal contact going to Zombie Basher. Ovaltine Kills, re-entering from the penalty box, trying to make some offensive help for Adri Hell on Training Wheels. Mia gets the call from the bench, opts the call off the jam. 4 points for the Buds, 0 points for the Roses on that jam, trapping Zombie Basher in the penalty box, which gives Buds another 4-3 pack advantage. Garlic Breath and EpiPen, the jammers of record. Currently, EpiPen gets Lead Jammer but gets bumped out and recaptured by the Buds. Stuck behind Gizmo. A penalty going to Toaster Strudel, a forearm penalty. Big spill on the outside of turn two. offensive help from Bocat, and that is Garlic Breath through on an initial. Gizmo and Snap, Crackle, and Pop hitting EpiPen to the outside. EpiPen opts to call it. 0-0 on that jam, but a Rose's blocker in the penalty box, giving Buds another 4-3 pack advantage, so the third jam in a row where Buds are getting a pack advantage over Roses, and there is a timeout, an official timeout. This timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. I'm like picking up on the strategy. I feel like Buds have sort of adjusted their strategy moving into this half. There has been a lot more of a prioritization of trapping players in the penalty box and keeping the pack advantage, which is a great strategy, especially when you're down. You want to have as many advantages as possible, and sometimes, most simply, that is a pack advantage. And a little bit of a personnel switch out happening as this official timeout extends. All right, Jammers of Record, we have Donna Spirit Halloween and Visine. Visine finds easy work on the outside line and is through with lead jammer as Donna gets bumped to the outside and captured by Fizz, joined by Bone Broth and Captain Crunch. Vi gets some offensive help from Ernie and is through with 4 points. Donna getting caught up on Captain Crunch. Vi opting to take the outside, bumping into the back of Bert. Now bumping into Tigress in the grass, who is anchoring that tripod of Roses at the top of the pack. Bert trying to offer some offense at the back of the pack, gets a shake of a head from Donna. A multiplayer penalty going to Honey Bashes and Oats. The Roses really trying to make some defense up against Vi at the top of the pack. Bert trying to get the pack moving a little bit, kind of extend the pack from turn 1 into turn 2. Roses now rolling backwards. Donald dropping back to join them, trying to get some movement. And there are the Buds calling it off, trapping one player in the penalty box, giving themselves another pack advantage. That was 8 points total on that jam. 106 Roses, 101 Buds. Another Buds pack advantage. I was picking up on the strategy. So it's a solid strategy. It is currently working for the Buds, who have had a pretty strong scoring streak over the past few jams, and we've been really picking up numbers. We were a little bit more spread out. Now we're really coming back together. Calm and Linguini jamming currently. Really stretched out pack. Out of play call coming to the back. Linguini fighting at the front of the pack. There is a penalty at the front of the pack. A forearm penalty going to Full Smack of Pancakes as Honey Bashes and Oats returns from the penalty box. Linguini bumps into Zombie Basher, into Billy Idlehands, gets tripped up. There's the no pack call. The Buds ball just slides forward. Buds ball anchored by Cat Lamity. Also features Yellow Jacket, Roadkill, Pickle, and Warthog. Buds are content to let Linguini kind of push out this 2-wall at the top of the pack. This 2-wall of Zombie Basher and Billy Idlehands really doing strong work at the top of the pack, making Linguini work for every single inch. Linguini finds some space, takes a spill. Zombie Basher tries for an exit hit. And that is Linguini out with 4 points. This is now a 1-point game. Full Smack of Pancakes, plays some offense, goes for a hit, delivers the jammer to Billy Idlehands. Tries to bump to the outside, delivers the jammer again to Honey Bashes and Oats. Tripod of Roses at the top of the pack, trying to make things happen. Pack is stretching out between turns 1 and 2. And there is going to be a penalty, a pack penalty going to Zombie Basher. And there's the call off happening from Linguini. So the second we see that Rose's penalty, the Buds bench asks for the call off. And that is going to be a lead change. So 8 points total on that jam for Linguini. 109 for the Buds, 106 for the Roses. And as I was saying, the second that there is a Roses penalty, there you get the call off. Even though you could have kept going, you could have kept jamming, could have trying to get points. Taking advantage of that start is Bud's priority, and it's working. All right, Mia Hamburger jamming up against Hot So Doggity Water. Hot So Doggity Water finding some space on the outside line. Managing to step forward, and that is going to be a cut track penalty going to Hot So Doggity Water, giving Buds a powerful jam. And there's Mia taking a spill up the outside line. Mad Dog McGruff trying to make some defense at the top, along with Sour Patch Snitch, but that is Mia Hamburger through with lead jammer. There's going to be a penalty going to Marizimo Cherry. But the pack is speeding up into turn 3. That is Mad Dog and Sour Patch Snitch trying to make something happen. Zombie Basher rejoining from the penalty box. Zoe is back on the track now. Both jammers entering the pack. Big hit on the outside to Mia Hamburger. Zoe Diggity exploding through the pack, moving quickly to the front of the pack and through on an initial pass. And there's the call coming from Mia Hamburger. That's going to be 8 points on that jam, bringing our game total 117 Buds, 106 Roses. And there is going to be a team timeout for the Roses. So this timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. This strategy in the second half from the Buds has been the difference. So here, this Mia Hamburger able to make easy work of that 2-wall after speeding up the pack, and then the Buds really slowing down. And then we have the Worm from a Bud skater. But this strategy of trapping people in the box, speeding up, slowing down, making that work, that has been what has made the difference for the Buds in this half. They have been able to take what was a 35, almost 40-point difference in points, and they've managed to build an 11-point lead. So really, really big scoring streak coming from the Buds. So full pack on the track for both teams. That is going to be Rutro Raggy up against Bleeding Tart on the Jam on Hawthorne jam line. There's that 5 seconds call. Offense from Fizz and Cap and Crunch on that outside. Rutro Raggy moving to the front of the track up against that 4-wall of Buds. That is a big hit coming from Fizz at the top of the pack as Bleeding Tart fights up against the wall of Roses. Bleeding Tart pushing actively up against Ovaltine Kills and Honey Bashes and Oats, anchored by Mazzy Scar Tissue. There's the no pack call as the packs start to converge and move forward. Rotro Raggy looking up, getting trapped up by Bone Broth and Fizz. Knocked to the knees. That is going to be a hit out to the inside on Bleeding Tart. Bleeding Tart forced to recycle all the way back, reversing the pack positions. Cap and Crunch trying to make something happen at the back of the pack offensively. There's a penalty at the back of the pack. It's going to be a multiplayer going to Honey Bashes and Oats. Mazzy Scar Tissue trying to hold on to some defense as Sherbert races up to catch. They've really trapped up Bleeding Tart at the top of the pack. Pack is stretched. Call from Ovaltine Kills to push and push and push that wall up. Bleeding Tart gets the lead jammer. And there's going to be a forearm call going to Burt. Bleeding Tart, one-footed spin on the inside line, manages to get bumped out by Ovaltine Kills, opts to call it off, picks up 0 points on that, having only passed the opposing jammer. But Bud successfully trapped 2 Roses blockers in the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box, Now, currently on the track, we have for the Buds, Kat Lamity jamming up against Adri Hell on training wheels. So, Kat Lamity's first time as a jammer on the track currently. Adri Hell on training wheels getting bumped to the outside, getting hit by Warthog. Getting a hit from all of the Buds blockers, but picking up lead jammer as Kat Lamity is getting recycled. There is a forearm penalty going to Tigers in the grass, and Kat Lamity's out on an initial. Adri Helen training wheels high stepping through the pack, getting hit to the outside by snap, crackle, and pop. Little spin on that inside from Kat Lamity, and she is through with 4 points. Pack is rolling into turn 2. Adri Helen training wheels gets the call. 4 points for the Roses on that jam, 4-4 jam, 121 Buds, 110 Roses, and there is a team timeout by the Roses. This timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. And as far as timing goes, so if you this is a for funsy game, but if you're at home thinking about like, what's the strategy? What's the energy? What are we thinking about? This is a great time if you are a team like the Roses where you're 11 points behind. You've kind of been trailing by 11 for a little bit now. There's 2 minutes, 46 seconds left. You have a handful of clock stoppages. You should stop the clock. Period. You should stop the clock. You want as much time as possible to try and make up those points so you can kind of, take that time out, rest your people, see who needs to go out next, really rejuvenate and energize what's happening on your team. See if you can change some things up a little bit. But this is a great time for a clock stoppage. This is usually, you're trying to make the difference. So let's see if the Jammers of Record are going to make the difference. It's Pandemonium jamming up against Slaughtermelon. Slaughtermelon bumped to the inside by Billy Idlehands. That tripod of Roses at the back of the pack featuring Sour Patch Snitch and Zombie Basher really stopping Slaughtermelon. But Pandemonium is also getting trapped up on that Buds wall. Billy Idlehands with the hit to the outside and the drawback. That is Bone Broth and Gizmo, accompanied by Bobcat, trying to draw Pandemonium back. That is going to be a low block penalty going to Bone Broth. Big hits on that inside line as Slaughtermelon is now trapped up on the back of those Roses. Tigers in the grass, trying to make the difference, trying to opt for that hit out. That tripod really slowing at the top of the pack. There's a fall happening. Pandemonium trying for the lines and finds some success, but then is hit out by Slaughtermelon and then opts to run up that outside. Slaughtermelon picks up lead in the meantime. Players are slowing. Slaughtermelon gets the call, opts to call it off. The Buds trying to time out their person in the penalty box and slow everything down, and there is going to be a team timeout from the Roses. This timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. So like I was saying before, when you are behind by 11 points, you can do 11 points in one jam. It would take some work, but you can do it. It's not impossible. It's very possible. These are the sorts of things that, when you're at scrimmage, and this is why you really, really scrimmage, you scrimmage for real to practice, is you want to practice for these moments in the games when you're down by 11. If you are the Roses, you're trying to change something up and make it work. If you are the Buds, you are trying to do whatever it takes to hold on. If the Buds right now in this moment, if they can capture lead jammer and just time it out with the other jammer not getting out at all, that would be ideal for them. The Roses are opting to toss out a new jammer, try and shake things up in this last minute and 25 of this game. Marizimo Cherry jamming up against Visine. Marizimo Cherry for the first time. Visine moving up to the top of the pack. There's the no pack call. Vice through with lead jammer. There is a penalty going to, I believe it's Fizz at the back of the pack. Ernie with a hit of offense. Vi with the call off. That is going to be 3 additional points for the Buds. 0 points for the Roses. 1 Buds player in the penalty box. No clock stoppage at this point. And there is a little jammer switch out, and there is lead jammer Noah Cuttrack going to EpiPen. A penalty also going to Slaughtermelon. Something is happening. I don't know what happened and why Melon maybe or maybe did not go to the penalty box. We'll see what happens. Hit out at the back by Toaster Strudel. Recycling Melon back. Big hit by Fizz, who was really trying to make things happen. Zoe with the drawback, accompanied by Toaster Strudel, Mad Dog, and Scar Tissue, Mazzy Scar Tissue. Tripod at the top of the pack, trying to slow down EpiPen. The no pack's being called. In what is going to be the last jam of the game, because we are out of period clock time. We are running on jam time only. Bloods are drawing back EpiPen. Everyone's skating backwards. Everyone continues to skate backwards. This is good for the Buds. They have 42 seconds to make anything happen. A cup penalty going to Slaughtermelon. So now the Roses have 35 seconds to make something happen. They're going to have to move quick and get that offense quickly. EpiPen up against out-of-play blockers in the front of the track. That is an initial pass. There is 25 seconds to make up 15-ish points. So if they move quickly, and if EpiPen really sprints, it is still possible. Big hits at the back of the pack. Toaster Strudel hitting into Fizz. Fizz with the drawback. And there is going to be the end of that jam. 2 points going up to the Roses at the end of that, but that is going to be our unofficial score currently. 124 for the Buds, 112 for the Roses. In an amazing second half comeback, the Buds racked up points after points after points after points. You know, the story of today really was Roses controlled the first half and really put their foot down the first half. Buds really put their foot down the second half. So, you know, really proud of all these skaters. Really exciting way to sort of kick off their traveling season. That's going to be your final score. Really amazing game. I have been Rosemary's Baby. You should like this stream. You should subscribe to the channel. You should push the notification button so that you can watch us next time. And that's all from me. I will see you next time.
do you have for most valuable blocker?
Hey, it's my boo, Lucky.
Most valuable jammer?
Vi.
Come on, Buzz. Pay attention over here. And most valuable overall?
Chloe.
All right. Buzz, who do you have for most valuable jammer?
Frantic.
Most valuable overall?
Nico.
Ovaltine kills. And most valuable blocker?
Sherbert.
All right, do some photos.
And there we go.
Spinning around one final blocker.
Oh, what a move to get around.
Going from 0 to gone.
Oh, man, that was gorgeous.
Oh,